All right, everybody. Man, I will tell you what, today has been a day. Today's been one of those days where it doesn't seem like anything is going to work and everything breaks and you don't have any idea why. And yet, here we are, and it does seem to be working the way that it's supposed to, which is awesome. So we're pretty excited about that. I'm pretty excited about that. And the biggest thing for today, I believe, if I manage to do this right, that we are actually on Periscope. So we should be on Instagram. Let me just check Instagram and make sure that we're good there. Info. Status is good, so we're live there. Periscope we are officially on, which is amazing. Facebook we're good, and YouTube as well. So this is some pretty fun stuff that we got going on here. Now there's a couple of things that I wanted to talk about today, and I'm actually going to use Pocket over here. A couple of things that I thought would be interesting. I got a couple of comments on the YouTube video from yesterday, which it's hard to do things like this in a stream where you've got content that you put out one day and then content you put out another day, and then you kind of wrap it up the third day, because people will only watch the third one and they won't get all the stuff you said before. I had a couple of people get on my case because they were saying, yeah, well, Elizabeth Holmes was doing it for 15 years and all this stuff. Like, because I talked yesterday about maybe Elizabeth Holmes is only on our bad list because she wasn't successful. And I had one guy specifically who said, well, she didn't invent anything. She was just trying to put existing processes into a smaller box. And I had to say, what do you think invention is? You think it's actually like creating something new, or is it just as viable to say that you're reorganizing something that already exists? Because I don't know. You look at anything else, it's not like we're creating new science. It's not like we're changing anything when we create some of this stuff. The truth is, we're just, we're just, that's all that it really is. We're just rearranging what's already there. So my point, I'm going to put all of my thoughts on this whole thing together and say that my point is that none of us can think that we are above reproach when it comes to this whole fake it till you make it idea. We love to hate on Elizabeth Holmes, and I think rightfully so, because I think she had no idea what she was doing. But we are only allowed to do so because she wasn't successful. There's so much that's happened over the last 50, 100 years in terms of technology improving and advancing, that if they had not been successful, they would be in the same situation that Elizabeth Holmes is right now. Okay? The problem is, in her situation, and I'm not defending her, I think that she deserves to be where she is because she was trying to do something that's not possible. My point is, the difference between her trying to do something that isn't possible and all the rest of us trying to do something that isn't possible but we think is only not possible because it hasn't been done yet, it's the same mindset. Like, Elizabeth, the reason why we're giving Elon Musk flack about the Hyperloop thing is because it's not done yet. Nobody's giving him flack about Tesla because Tesla's work, it's done. He did it. Nobody's giving him crap about the Boring Company. And by the way, that's another example. He did not invent flamethrowers. He just found a way to make it commercially viable to consumers where he could sell them. Right? So that has nothing to do with anything really. It's just him. He just happens to be in a bunch of different things, and he's making things work. I mean, there are countless numbers of failed experiments that, the problem really is just that we put so much emphasis on the failed ones and none on the successful ones. And the big point is this: the path between inception of idea and actual realization of concept is the same. The difference is one was successful and one wasn't. That's it. That's all that matters. So don't get it twisted. I'm not defending Elizabeth Holmes. I'm not defending any of those people. I'm just saying you're not any different than they are if you are in that same boat of trying to push things before it actually happens. That's just the truth. That's the way it happens. So the other thing that I want to talk about today, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time, but the other thing that I wanted to talk about today is my favorite UFC fighter. In fact, she's my favorite MMA fighter of all time. Her name is Roxy. She's on Twitter at Roxy Fighter. I think Instagram the same, at Roxy Fighter. She is a beast. And if you watched her, I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if I can see my stream here and see what you're looking at. This is her right here. Okay? Now, if you had seen her, let me see if I can pull up some, just some video of her, Roxy UFC. That's what you should do. Just search for Roxy UFC, and you'll see some videos. She is I think this one right here might be my absolute favorite picture of her, because it encapsulates so perfectly who she is and the type of person that she is. Look at those glasses. She is a little bit nerdy. She is the type of person who is obsessed with anime and Japanese culture. In fact, I think when she weighed in, check this out. Her weigh-in for this last fight, she's wearing that hair, which I think is just brilliant. Anyway, if you were to watch her just in life, you would notice that she's an odd duck. She's a little bit nerdy. She's a little bit, when you would not expect her to be a legitimate UFC fighter, and yet she is. And I think if any of you watch her, even to this day, I find myself, and I like her. I think she's awesome. I originally watched her when she was on The Ultimate Fighter, 3 years ago? And when she was there, you just couldn't help because you see her in that reality TV situation, and you think, oh, this girl's she's not going to last very long. And then she did. She's a legitimate, and she's gotten a lot better. She's gotten massively better, and this win in Russia, I think, is huge for her and for women's MMA in general. And so, like with all things, you can't really judge a book by its cover, and she is a good example of that. In fact, if any of you pay attention to MMA, have anything to do with MMA, but you don't know who she is, you need to look her up. At Roxy Fighter on Twitter. I think it's the same on Instagram. Let's see what she is on Instagram. I believe it's the same thing. Roxy Fighter. Yeah, at Roxy Fighter on both. That you can see here, that image of her with the hair is that's her profile picture on there. Check her out, follow her, look her up, because she is legit, even though she doesn't look like it. And I think the most important thing is that she is an example of, it's very easy to discount people before you have any idea what they're capable of. She's somebody that you would probably pick on if you were that type of person, and then she would turn around and kick you in the face, or put you in an arm bar or something. She's just as deadly as anybody, any man, woman, whatever, at that size, and just in general. And so it's a good idea just to, you can't let that stuff take over and keep you from understanding what's actually happening. So today's video is short. That's all that I really wanted to talk about, trying to keep it under 10 minutes. Just a quick little run. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened, and one of these days I'm going to do a documentary style look at all the different technologies that I've used to try and do these live streams. Like I've done the Mevo camera, which I love. I've done from the phone, which is great for the vertical format. I've done from my webcam, which is fun. This time I'm actually just going from my regular webcam, not as good quality, but I like the thing I'm using OBS because I'm actually running from Ubuntu right now. I'm on Linux. Anyway, it's a whole thing. I should probably document that more than anything else. But that's all that I got for today. Hopefully I'll see you guys all tomorrow. We'll have some more fun stuff to talk about, and I'll be back in Quietville, inside my apartment, and not out here, where it's super loud. So anyway, we will talk again tomorrow. Peace.